I went to this restaurant and this guy, the busser came over to take all the plates, right? And he did that thing where first, I think pre-COVID, post-COVID, you're allowed to get away with this now, where he starts like calling for plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when there's like a couple people at a table and they go like, "Can I get that?" And then so they can bust the table away instead of going around and grabbing the table because people are like, it's close proximity. It's like pre-COVID, that's just bad at your job. But now post-COVID, we're like, whatever, we can't all be. So I'm like, bussing with him and just doing an assembly line, handing him plates and stuff, and he like takes it all and he piles all the stuff, and Erica hands her plates, and then he puts them all down there, and he was like, and I go, "Do you want this too?" He goes, yeah. So I give him all this, and then as he goes to pick them up, he realizes the weight of all of the things that he's holding, and I know this because he let out an "oh fuck," and then just fucking tucked his arms in and ran away like this, all waddled like.
He was like a smashed fucking mushroom from Super Mario.
Yeah,
His little legs popping out of the bottom.
Just like that.
Dude, yeah, he couldn't put it back down and be like, "I'm gonna come back for half of these," especially after asking us.
Dude, once you take all the plates, you're like, "Fuck, I gotta take all these." I can't.
That's the one thing they taught me when it was the first day of working in restaurants or like busing and running. They go, "You never take more than you can carry, and never take less."
I've done it every single time, and there is nobody that plays the musical plates quite like me because I have a trembling problem. So anytime I had more than one plate, I'd be like, I'm like playing the little maracas, and I'm a saucy little gal. And every table would be like, "Are you scared? Like, are you okay?"
People think like dinner and a show is happening. They're like, "Ooh."
Yeah. A one-man band of leftover mozzarella stick plates?
Dude, I do not miss waiting tables, but there is something about the post-double shift cigarette that I will never get over. That, like, I was barely a cigarette smoker, but just that feeling of just being a waiter, man.
I hated
whipping
it.
a butt by the side of the restaurant.
I hated every second of being a server. I hated the intros. I hated having to pretend like I liked them, having to pretend that people weren't difficult or like... Yeah. And even when it was good, it was just like a mediocre experience. You're like, great. At best case scenario, I'm a little like I'm a slave to you. I'll go run and get your thing, sir, and I'll be right back. And I'm so sorry, I didn't know your soup was that hot. I apologize.
It's pouring on myself.
It's constant groveling, and you realize so quickly how the people who are going out to restaurants really. That psychological abuse of power is and especially
because their lives are bereft of control, so they funnel it all into that one moment where they can be Mr. Spacely and order fucking George Jetson around.
People also get very they're very loose with what they're talking about even when a waiter's there. If you're on a table with someone and they're talking about something, it's like, "Excuse me, there's a stranger standing." Like we were talking to my dad about when he dies, how much money we're gonna get in his will and everything. And the guy's standing right there, and I'm like,
being like, "Wait, that much time?"
No. I was like, "Stop talking about the money." I hated working in restaurants. The fucking worst.
Here's what I was gonna say to follow up on that point, though. What I wish is that I got to work just once at just like an old train car that got converted into a diner, the metal gray outside, where it's just like a passing through trucker town sort of a rest stop diner, because I wanted so badly the ability to be apathetic as a server. And that's what you get to be in those restaurants. You get to come down and go, "You want eggs? Can I have an omelet?" "We don't do omelets." "Eggs?"
Yeah.
And then they go, and then they slap them down.
Yeah.
They go, they know you're not leaving a big tip. They know you're not running up the bill. They know you're. It's just this is a grind. This is both of us don't want to be here. And I love that.
Lifelong diner servers are the pirates of the modern age. They look like it. They all kind of just it's grizzled life experience. It's tough living, man.
Yeah. Bartenders too. It's because they're like just the servers go home before the bartenders usually. Then the bartenders have to stay there, clean everything up, close everything down.
I was never a server.
Bartending's more fun.
I do not think I would be able to do it, as you know.
I bumble. You reek of I've never waited tables.
I mean, I've worked in restaurants, but I've never waited tables.
What did you do?
I was a host.
You were. Oh my God.
Yes.
Who put you in the front of their shop and would represent us?
I don't know what you're taking out on me today.
Now, let me ask you this: were you good? Because a host, although it is an important job, is the first thing that people comes in. you do have to do the thing where you're like, all right, those people are on desserts. Like, how did you do the math of letting know how long the wait was for any sort of time? You have to be like, okay, they're on desserts. It's going to be probably 25 minutes.
He didn't, and I bet he folded under pressure a lot.
I
He
never
got mad
folded
at
under
families.
pressure.
He got mad at people that were bothered because they were waiting.
I never folded under pressure. There was one time where it was really busy on like a Friday or Saturday, and I was working with this chick who was this like, I don't know how to describe her in not a racist way. But she was
Maybe
just
read.
like, read a book. Yeah, I know. Read a book, and I'd have a character lined up for this. But she was like a very sassy kind of Latino chick who was like, we would be in like special ed together, but never talk. You know what I mean? Like she'd be like the girl that sits over there that doesn't talk to anybody. And it got.
Whereas you and the other children were playing battering rams.
And it was very overwhelming, and she just turned to me and she's like, do something. And I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
As a host, you're supposed to run tables.
A restaurant.
Yes, of course. I was doing everything I could. I was doing everything
You
I
ran
could.
plates to the tables?
Plates?
Yeah, when you're the host things are slammed, sometimes they come in and they start running orders.
Well, I would get the people to their seats, and you have to pick certain seats because of the waiters and everything.
I know, I was head waiter.
You have to break it up.
When the
sections.
But when the families or whatever weren't leaving, it would get fucking piled up.
And that's what I'm
like, what's
what I'm
going
asking.
on?
How did you say to them how long the wait was?
You have to.
That's probably the second most popular content.
Always like 15 to 20.
Always, even when it was like an hour.
You'd have to. If it was slammed, anytime it was slammed, nobody really knew the number, but you saw how filled it was.
That's what I'm asking
and then
you to
raised.
describe.
Do you know how many times I looked into the server room when somebody or into the where people eat, and they asked how long, and I was like 25. And I had no clue. How the fuck do you know? I'm just looking at people.
I know.
That's
People
what it
got
takes,
so
but
mad
there
at
is an
me.
art to it because you have to walk around, survey who's got their checks, who's eating dessert, who hasn't even ordered
But
yet.
you can't eject people.
No, but you can time. You can assume like a rough okay, if someone's paying right now. Worst case scenario, in 15 minutes they'll be gone. You know, so you got to plan for that. But that's a lot of work to do.
It is, but it's also a lot of fun in a way where you're kind of like looking around at the table. As soon as people start unpacking, you're like, go, because we'd have to also
like a little
bus
restaurant
them.
puzzle.
Yeah, we'd help bus them and
Where
everything
was
like
this?
that. Fridays, TGI Fridays.
It was a small mom and pop.
Well, I also worked at a Friendly's.
No
and
wonder you were the face of Fridays. That makes the most
it's
sense. in the
Friday.
entire world. You probably painted
Yeah,
nails.
Hey, Frank,
come on over, make some mistakes.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the weekend.
It's always Friday.
hey, how's it going? Welcome to the beginning of the mall. Sit down and
Are you feeling weird about doing blow on a Tuesday? We're coming here. It's Friday.
this way to the parking lot, that way to the tables.
You got Saturday and Sunday to regret.
Yeah, it's always the beginning.
And there was this one time where somebody walked in and I went, "Hi, welcome to Friendly's," and he was like, "Fridays," and I was like, "I don't know, man." But there was it was.
You're like out of a teenage movie.
Yeah.
I know. I really am fucking.
You're like in Waiting. You're Justin Long being like, I don't know, man. I just have such bigger dreams than this.
He's definitely Andy Milonakis.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix between that. I'm Justin Long doing whippets in the freezer.
Yeah. Looking like Andy Milonakis.
Looking like Andy Milonakis, yes. And it was like swamped and people coming in and everybody was overwhelmed. And this chick turned to me and she's like, "Do something. You're not doing anything." And I'm like, "I'm doing everything I can." And then we got into this little thing filled with people. And I went, "Yo, shut the fuck up, bitch."
There it is.
I went, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." And she was like, and everybody was like, everybody looked away.
The whole restaurant?
Everybody in the front on a packed out fucking
That's
place.
like 3 a.m. Waffle House shit.
yeah, dude. And the manager took me out and she's like, "You can't call her a bitch in front of everybody."
Even though we all agree.
And you didn't get fired?
No, but I got fired a couple weeks later.
For what?
Stealing food.
Well,
calling her a stupid dumb bitch.
A Puerto Rican dumb He just made it racist.
yeah.
And they're like, well, now we have to.
You wanna make your Irish goodbye.